businessman man who had his roots tied to Belize City all his life. Before going to college, I think I only traveled outside of Belize like twice. Once when I was 9 and when I was like 16 or 17. So I grew up in Belize City. All my summers playing basketball and baseball and football and running all around this city. So I'm born and bred right here. I have my family is my pride and joy. I have 2 children, Morgan and Lawrence, and I'm married to Melissa Balaranos. When I got into the BTB, I was hired as a small hotels coordinator for an OAS project, a regional project. And so that gave me a first-hand experience of what the tourism product was like here in Belize. And that was in 1998, somewhere around there. And then I went to Senior Product Development Officer and then Director of Product Development. And that truly gave me a well-rounded view of what the tourism product is, what the tourism industry is all about. And I came with a marketing background, so I had marketing and understood the product needs. And so from infrastructure to training, all the natural assets that we had, I traveled the length and breadth of this country. And so that gave me a first-hand experience of how we should try to develop the tourism industry. Well, first of all, we're a very diverse country in terms of our people, in terms of our product. And so the primary focus should be that we should embrace tourism, but we also have to ensure that we have sustainability within the industry. Sustainability for our people and sustainability for the natural resources that give us that competitive edge. That there's no other destination in this world, I think, from my perspective, that offers you the second largest barrier reef in the world, a diverse culture and archaeological sites, dense rainforests, etc., 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 in 8,867 square miles. The same thing about Puerto Vallarta and Cabo San Lucas and all of those places. They have nothing, absolutely nothing over Belize. And so the vision should be that we embrace tourism, but we protect the natural and human resources that we have that make up the tourism product here in Belize. Well, one, we have to consider safety first, and as long as we get control of the virus here in Belize, then we can signal to the rest of the world. So how do we do that? We implement all the safety and protocols that the Ministry of Health has advised us to do. Wear your mask, physical distancing, sanitize. But I believe strongly that if we get as many people vaccinated as possible, that signals to the world that we're safe and more people are willing to come. But in terms of Belize is a niche market, like you rightfully said, and I believe that creates an opportunity for us. It's a natural social physical distancing, it's natural social distancing, and so the quaintness of our properties, I think the biggest property in Belize is somewhere around 500 rooms, and that gives us a competitive edge. I think that gives us an opportunity to signal to the world that we are safe as long as we do the right things in Belize. I think the all-inclusive concept has a place, but it has to be strategically located. You can't have a proliferation of those types of businesses here in Belize. Otherwise, you change the uniqueness of the destination. And so, yes, there is a place for all-inclusives or branded hotels or whatever you want to call it, but they have to be in strategic areas, and there should not be a proliferation of them. You have to really dig down into the information. There's a lot of information out there. Right now I have this young man who is a Belizean who lives in Houston, but he have like a master's in analytics. So I say, yeah, well, and he just excited for give back, right? And so he just say, make I do it. Can I just show you how I broke down some of the data for you,
So that's what we're doing right now, just looking at all the segments within the US, even some tax information, all kind of thing, with a look upon how income brackets, upon live, like one simple thing in Florida. As you know, the state's not big, and yes, it is big, but for some reason, the vast majority of people who come from South Florida, they're from the Pembroke Pines area, and so we try to figure out. I know going to Miami a lot, and having a lot of friends over there, a lot of Belizeans live in and around the Pembroke Pines area, so yeah, a lot of Caribbean people, right? So maybe they just spread the information, they hang out together, and so that could be one of the reasons. But I always go to Dallas. My brother lives in Dallas, and I have never seen anything. And if I ask anybody if you hear about Belize, well, I only hear it from my brother, right? So word of mouth is important, but I still don't think, and there's a direct flight from Dallas to Belize, which is important for us. So I think wherever you have direct flights, you should pump some serious money in it. We need people to travel to Belize now, not 8 months from now. The average occupancy throughout the country right now is about 5%, half from international and half from local. So we kind of talk about, oh, but then I see Belize, yeah, but they might travel next year. We don't have time. A lot of 50%. We did a survey of the industry, and 50% of the industry said that they were out of cash, and that they were on the brink. There's also an alarming statistic that $800 million worth of loans had to be restructured by the banks, the domestic banks. Of that, 1/3 really up the creek without a paddle, another 1/3 iffy, and then 1/3 is in okay standing. So you're talking about almost $600 million worth of loans and businesses and people working and all of that are either in trouble or on the brink. And so we're in a serious situation. I have said to my friends and colleagues in cabinet that tourism is the only low-hanging fruit right now. If you plant something in the ground, you're not going to return till next year, maybe 2 years down the road. But as we opened the airport, you went from 1,400 or so visitors to 4,000, plus then to December 10,000, close to 10,000, and I foresee that we could have some additional growth. But travel has to, when you want to travel, you want to have peace of mind. You're getting away from the hustle and bustle of your life, and you just want to go relax, you want to get away. And so it can't be that one day it's something and the next day it's something, and it becomes onerous to travel, and the cost becomes prohibitive for you to travel. So your test when you come in, your test when you go out. If you travel with 5 people, those things add up, and so traveling is already a kind of expensive, depending on where you're going. But it can't just be added by all these things that COVID has created for us. It is important when I look at the data in terms of occupancy. Other than San Pedro, for the other parts of the country, it's almost a 50-50 split in terms of people visiting those or staying at those properties. So 50% Belizean, 50% foreign visitors. So the Belizean market is playing a crucial role in kind of holding us over until the overall industry returns to the normal travel that we're used to. So the moment I got to the BTB and the Ministry of Tourism, I asked that we do a comprehensive program in terms of domestic travel. But I also believe that the private sector has to do their part. Far too often, some of the properties in Belize would say they won't offer Belizean rate, but they see now how important the Belizean market can be for them. So this should be a sustained program. And many years ago, when I was at the BTB, we had It's Your Own Backyard campaign, and it was done during the summer months and during Easter, and we saw a decline in travel to Chetumal and Cancun and Playa del Carmen and the United States, and a lot more people stay at home to visit Belize. I think it's along that lines that we should return, especially now. These are difficult times. I don't really foresee that there's going to be a major boost in international travel globally. Right now, the World Tourism Organization is talking about a travel pass, but there's a lot of debate about it. The WTTC is saying that they don't support it. So you have two powerful tourism entities with opposing views. And why? There are different levels of efficacy in terms of the vaccine. So one might have 50%, one might have 70%, one might have 90%. And so then there has to be a system whereby you don't have all types of certificates or documentation behind the passport or behind the vaccination process. It has to be authentic, it has to be legitimate. And so from my readings and from my reviews, these are some of the things that they have to work out. So we have a ways to go in terms of the overall way we travel in the near future. Well, there are a lot of developments that have happened and that are happening across this country that the vast majority of Belizeans don't know about. A lot of people don't know it. I think in terms of marketing, repetition helps. You have to educate your Belizean people in this instance about the product and showcase what we have to offer, educate them about the pricing, that we are competitive globally in certain instances, and that we should appreciate what we have here at home. I'll tell you personally, the best vacations that I've had, and this is not a pitch, this is not political talk, the best vacations that I've had of any other than probably one is when I vacation here in Belize. And for a longer period than just Easter or a long weekend, maybe 7 or 8 days, I've traveled around Belize just to experience the product. And it's a wonderful, life-fulfilling experience. It's not just going to a mall for hours and hours and hours, or seeing McDonald's, or those things are, for the most part, people don't travel for them. But we have our own authenticity, and that is a part of what we promote, the uniqueness of what Belize is. And so the local market should share in that as well.